Welcome to WEBN News. I'm Daniel Cordova.
And I'm Olivia Quiles. President Donald Trump says he ordered the Treasury Department to stop minting pennies. Trump said the 1-cent coin cost too much to produce. The announcement is just one of the president's many recent efforts to cut federal spending. Trump took to Truth Social to share that penny production costs more than the coin's value. The U.S. Mint has confirmed that each penny costs $1.69 to be made. This has made an annual loss of over $85 million. Despite Trump's efforts to pause minting, several experts have recognized that only Congress has the authority to halt coin production. Advocacy groups warn that eliminating the penny may drive up prices elsewhere.
The Homeland Security Department is urging the IRS agents to help with immigration enforcement.
We're working with them at the President's direction to find what we can do to make our department much more efficient.
In a memo secured by the New York Times, Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem requested the use of federal agents for immigration enforcement. This would include investigating human trafficking and auditing employers hiring undocumented migrants. The IRS has more than 2,100 trained law enforcement officers who help investigate financial crimes and violations of tax law.
The city of Boston received a tremendous 8 inches of snow over the weekend as a storm rolled over New England. Following the snowfall, temperatures have stayed consistent, ranging between high 20s and 30s, but look out for more flurries. The Northeast is expecting 2 more inches of snow in the upcoming days.
We now go to Daniel, who has this week's weather forecast.
Thank you guys so much. We're starting this week coming out of a snowstorm that dropped almost 8 inches around parts of the Merrimack Valley. So let's take a look at the weather for this week. Today it was pretty cold with a high of 34 and a low of 16. Heading into tomorrow, it's looking pretty similar with a low of 14 and a high of 34. But don't worry, that low is going to be around 3 a.m. So unless you got something to do, someplace to be, you'll be fine. Wednesday, it's going to be the same story. We've got a high of 34, low of 16. But the real story starts on Thursday. Bundle up. We're going to be getting another chance for some snow. The snow is really going to start in the early hours of Thursday. And as you get a start to your day around 9, 10 a.m., it'll switch to freezing rain, sleet on the roads, and you have to be careful when you're driving. And then taking a look into Friday, it'll clear up. It'll be sunny with the low of 17 and a high of 29. So we're going to be staying under these freezing temperatures for just a little while longer. And looking over into the weekend, we have a slight chance of snow. The confidence is not at 100%, but don't count out a chance of more snow as we end the weekend off. Back to you guys in the studio.
A train from Providence derailed near South Station in Boston on Saturday. No injuries were reported as the train derailed at slow speeds and remained upright. The accident caused several Amtrak trains, including a Acela service, to be canceled between Boston and Providence, with residual delays expected.
The Senate confirmed political analyst Russell Vought as the new White House budget director. Despite Democratic pushback, Vought was confirmed through a party-line vote of 53 to 47. This is not Vought's first time in office. He served during Trump's first term in 2018 and has already played a key role in Trump's plans to enact Project 2025. Vought has received support from a majority of Republicans who argue that he will slash federal spending and regulations. And now with more information on new changes happening with Tennessee's ban on gender rights.
And the increase in immigration arrests, we have our political reporter, Anthony Ciano. Anthony?
Thanks, Olivia and Daniel. The Trump administration is doubling down on bans for transgender youth health care. Following a 2023 ban of transgender-affirming care for Tennessee youth, the Biden administration launched a court appeal. The Trump administration is backing away from that. Many justice officials believe this appeal should still be voted on. The Supreme Court is expected to pass a decision by late June. ICE arrests have ramped up and surpassed daily averages set during the Biden administration. However, some senior officials are still unhappy with the number of arrests. White House Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt confirmed Wednesday that 461 of the arrests were released due in part to lack of detention space. The administration is now looking to send illegal immigrants to places outside U.S. soil, such as Guantanamo Bay in Cuba and El Salvador. Democratic members of Congress were denied access to the Department of Education building amidst efforts to meet with Secretary Denise Carter. This attempted entry was in part to protest the Trump administration's efforts to shut down the Department of Education and rather switch to state-run education. Trump said on Tuesday that if his Secretary of Education pick, Linda McMahon, is confirmed, that she should work to, quote, put herself out of a job. The 30 Democrats who attempted to enter the building claimed they needed more transparency from the government. That's all for politics. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Anthony. We'll be right back with more WEBN news after this break.
Welcome back to WEBN Boston.
The Trump administration has directed the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau to stop most of its operation, including rulemaking and investigations.
And by telling people the investigations are over, no more oversight, it just feels like a free pass to some of these big corporations to do whatever they please.
This move follows conservative opposition to the agency, established after the 2008 financial crisis. The CFPB's headquarters will be closed for a week. Critics argue that the shutdown will help large banks while harming consumer protection. The agency has secured nearly $20 billion in relief for consumers. This action reflects Trump's effort to reduce government regulations.
This past week, Trump authorized economic and travel sanctions against the International Criminal Court. Dozens of countries have since expressed their unwavering support for the ICC in response. Among the countries who agreed to the statement were France, Germany, and Britain. Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban stated last Friday that he supported Trump's move. Orban is also wanted for the ICC for his involvement in the war in Gaza. Trump's sanctions target those concerned with ICC investigations of U.S. citizens or allies such as Israel.
And now with more information on a landslide that happened in southwest China, we have our international correspondent, Vivienne Felber. Vivienne?
Thank you so much, Daniel. Emergency teams are working to rescue 28 people in Sichuan, China after a landslide caused by heavy rains. One person was killed as mud-buried homes in Jinping village. Nearly 1,000 personnel are involved in the search, aided by drones and life detection tools. 2 people have been rescued along with 360 evacuated. The landslide turned into a debris flow stretching over half a mile due to rainfall and local conditions. Continuous rain and additional landslides are hindering efforts. 4 Thai hostages were released after 15 months in captivity by Hamas and returned to Thailand as part of a prisoner exchange between Israel and Hamas. Watchtower Saran, a hostage who had been working in Israel during the October 7th attack, was greeted by his family and Thai officials. However, the remaining Thai hostage, Natapong Pingsa, is still missing. A magnitude 7.6 earthquake struck the Western Caribbean on Saturday evening, about 130 miles south of the Cayman Islands. The quake caused no significant damage in the region. The U.S. Geological Survey first rated the quake as 8 on the Richter scale, then revised it to 7.6. The earthquake occurred along the boundary between the North America and Caribbean tectonic plates, an area prone to large earthquakes. That's all I have for international. Back to you at the desk.
Last Monday, stocks began to tumble as Wall Street prepared for new tariffs ordered by President Trump. Trump promised to hold off on enforcing the tariffs for 1 month, though company shares have already started to reduce in fear of decreased profits and increased costs. These orders also threaten international trades. Trump announced the start of a 25% tariff on imports from Canada and Mexico, as well as a 10% levy on goods from China. According to economists, Trump's announcement to implement these orders could also cause a plummet in economic growth and an increase in job losses. Stay with us. WEBN has more news after this break.
If I could be you, and you could be me for just 1 hour. If we could find a way to get inside each other's minds. Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes. Well, before you abuse, criticize, and accuse. Walk a mile in my shoes.
Welcome back to WEBN Boston.
Anthony Davis' season debut with the Dallas Mavericks was cut short after the former Laker injured his groin and had quadricep issues in the third quarter. The newly acquired power forward started with an impressive performance, recording 26 points, 16 rebounds, 7 assists, and 3 blocks in its 116-105 victory over the Houston Rockets. According to ESPN, Davis is expected to miss multiple weeks. With second-year center Derek Lively injured, the Mavericks are shorthanded on the front court. We now go to Chloe, who has the latest on sports news.
Thank you so much, Daniel. The Philadelphia Eagles beat the Kansas City Chiefs 40-22 in Super Bowl 59. Jalen Hurts was named MVP, finishing with 201 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns, and 72 rushing yards. This marks a new record by a quarterback in Super Bowl history. In his speech, he thanked his teammates for helping him along the way. As the Lombardi Trophy was presented to the team, Eagles fans in both Philadelphia and New Orleans celebrated the win. ESPN analyst and Hall of Famer Randy Moss made his return to the network after 2 months away. Moss left the studio in December to seek treatment after being diagnosed with bile duct cancer. Moss made his emotional comeback on Sunday morning, just in time for Super Bowl 59. During his on-air appearance Sunday, ESPN played a welcome back video featuring Tom Brady, Justin Jefferson, Bill Belichick, Kevin Garnett, and others. Plymouth knocked Liverpool, the Premier League leader, out of the FA Cup on Sunday. Liverpool lost 1-0. Plymouth forward Ryan Hardy scored a penalty kick at the 53-minute mark, ultimately winning the game. In a statement afterwards, Hardy said, quote, "We all came here today with a dream, and we have done it," end quote. Plymouth is now the first club outside of the Premier League to beat a high-level team since Manchester City got eliminated in February 2018. Plymouth's next match will be against Millwall this Wednesday. That's all I have for sports. Back to you at the desk.
This year's Super Bowl ads featured a plethora of celebrities from Matthew McConaughey to Sydney Sweeney. This year's cost demanded an upcharge of about $8 million for a 30-second feature, a record-breaking price in Super Bowl history. More than 50 brands got a chance to advertise during the breaks. One popular ad from Michelob Ultra Beer featured Catherine O'Hara and Willem Dafoe battling in a pickleball 2v2. Other ads undertook spreading awareness for breast cancer, showing their support in creative ways. We'll go now to Andrew, who has the latest on entertainment news.
Thanks, Olivia. Keeping on his promise, Kendrick Lamar delivered an explosive and charged performance at the Super Bowl halftime show. The set list featured some of Lamar's most iconic tracks, including the DNA, Humble, Euphoria, and Not Like Us. The Grammy Award-winning song is a part of an ongoing rap battle with fellow rapper Drake. Lamar brought R&B artist SZA, tennis star Serena Williams, and actor Samuel L. Jackson at the show. Ahead of her halftime show collaboration with Lamar, SZA released 4 new songs. The tunes are part of the deluxe edition of her Grammy Award-winning album, SOS. The updated version, called Lana, includes Johnny, featuring Don Toliver, Take You Down, Open Arms, and PSA. Lana brought the album back to the top of the Billboard charts 2 years after the release of SOS. Chappell Roan sparked discussion at her Grammy acceptance speech last Sunday. She called artists to receive a living wage. On stage, Rowan always told herself that if she ever won a Grammy and had the chance to address, quote, the most powerful people in music, she would argue her case. She said that artists should be offered higher wages and health care. Rowan noted her own struggles after being dropped in 2020 and failing to secure health insurance. Singers Noah Khan and Charlie XCX took to Instagram to match Rowan's $25,000 donation to struggling artists. It's all up to you today. Back to you at the front desk.
During Sunday's Super Bowl, Dunkin' released an extended version of their ad, which had previously been teased at the Grammys. The ad still featured Succession star Jeremy Strong, but the big surprise was the inclusion of former New England Patriots coach Bill Belichick and his girlfriend Jordan Hudson. The ad brought an unexpected twist to the event, bringing attention to Dunkin's brand. That's all for WEBN this evening. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Daniel Cordova.
And I'm Olivia Keelis. See you next week.